There are all types in nature. In each family of animals, there are those that are much smaller, like these, or much bigger than their relatives. So sit back and get ready to be impressed by the giants that walk on land. Let's begin with the most spectacular, the Colossus, the biggest of them all, the African elephant, measuring 4 to 5 meters tall and weighing in at 10 tons for males and 8 for females. They're pretty smart animals too, but when they get angry, nothing will get in their way, not even trees nor houses. On a smaller scale, the South American capybara is the largest rodent in the world. 1.5 meters high and weighing 70 kilos, it is 10 to 20 times the size of a large rat. But don't worry, they're rather friendly. Whether they fly or not, certain birds can also grow to incredible sizes. The biggest of all is the ostrich. At 2 to 3 meters tall and weighing up to 150 kilos for bigger individuals, it's hardly surprising they can't fly. But that isn't the case for the swan, which shares with the Japanese crane, the pelican and the Canada goose the title of heaviest flying bird in the world. Well, 15 kilos is a lot of weight to get airborne. The biggest of all terrestrial flying birds is the Andean Condor, with a wingspan reaching an incredible 4 meters. Condors are capable of carrying off a dog or a lamb without much difficulty. There are giant reptiles too. This enormous snake, which swims as well as any fish in spite of its 250 kilos and girth of nearly 1 meter, is the Amazonian anaconda. It's the biggest snake on the planet and belongs to the boa constrictor family. It can swallow a calf whole, legs and all. And here's the biggest lizard, the Commodore Dragon. 2 to 3.5 meters from nose to tail, with a maximum weight of 150 kilos. An impressive set of figures for this fearsome predator. The insect world has its heavyweights too. The New Zealand giant weta can spread out to 25 centimeters and weighs 500 grams. Even rats don't mess with them. At 40 centimeters long, the South Asian stick insect is the longest living insect. It's also renowned for its incredible ability to mimic its surroundings. And how about mollusks? There are some pretty big snails around. This one is one of the biggest on the planet. Its body can measure up to 10 centimeters in diameter, and amazingly, its eggs are about the same size as a quail's. And finally, we take a quick detour away from the animal kingdom to feast our eyes on the largest flower on the globe, the Rafflesia, which can grow up to 1.5 meters across. Just as we've seen that each large family of terrestrial animals has 1 or 2 giants among its numbers, there are underwater giants too, and they are even more spectacular than the giants found on dry land. Underwater, we can observe the biggest creature that has ever existed on Earth, a mammal that lives under the sea, the blue whale. It grows up to 35 meters long and can weigh as much as 200 tons, the equivalent of 140 family cars. It's the giant of all giants. Not even the biggest dinosaurs ever got this big. Staying with underwater mammals, but this time much more dangerous, the world's biggest sea predator, the killer whale or orca. 10 meters long, 5 tons in weight, and a jaw that can open more than 1 meter wide. A killer whale can even attack a great white sharks. You have to wait for nightfall for a chance of seeing the biggest turtle in the world. The loggerhead or lute turtle. It uses the cover of dark to lay its eggs on the beach. It weighs almost a ton, and some individuals reach 3 meters long. Sadly though, this turtle is now an endangered species. Sublime, majestic, and huge. It doesn't swim, it flies. The manta ray's wings can measure 7 meters across, making it the widest fish in the 7 seas. It glides with a singular elegance, furtive and silent, towards another equally splendid giant of the deep. The biggest fish in the world, the whale shark. 10 tons and 15 meters long, it lives in the Indian Ocean. But fear not, this enormous shark is a very gentle giant. It has no teeth and feeds only on plankton. There are even giant shellfish, and the biggest of all, well protected by its shell, is the giant clam. The biggest among them grow to 3 meters long and 1.5 meters high. But don't try sticking your arm in. If it closed its shell, it would cut it off. There's no worm longer than the nemertine, or ribbon worm, which can measure anything from 10 centimeters and an incredible 50 meters. No joke. This invertebrate has lived on the seabed for several 100 million years. This creature is a Holoturian, which is a type of sea cucumber. The largest specimens reach 10 to 15 meters, and all it has to forage and feed with are these little tentacles.